Very good evening to you once again from the sports desk. The 98th edition of the Comrades Marathon is exactly 2 weeks away, with 24,163 entries received and well over 22,000 qualifying runners expected on the start line. This will be the largest ever Comrades Down Run from Pietermaritzburg to Durban. The largest previous down run was in 2018 with just over 19,000 starters. Comrades Marathon Association Chair Mqondisi Ngcobo joins us now to talk about the final preparations and what to expect this year as top runners and social runners prepare for the ultimate human race. Mqondisi, a very good evening and thank you so much for joining us.
Good evening and thank you for having us, Gwen, and your viewers.
The 98th edition of Comrades is taking place in just about 2 weeks on the 8th of June. Talk to us about the final preparations. I guess, as they say, the final work is done. Where are we now as far as the final prep for Comrades, the 98th edition of Comrades?
We can safely say that we're 92% into our preparations. We are happy with what has gone into the preparation so far. All our portfolios from the start, the route and the finish, and all other portfolios that work with the start, the route and the finish are hard at work to ensure that we put all the final finishes. I was just talking to the finish procedure earlier today, to say that they are 70% in terms of putting all the infrastructure at the People's Park in Mqondisi, and obviously the only infrastructure that will be put up on Thursday is the infrastructure that will go on the road, because in terms of the permissions that we're getting from the authorities, we can only start putting up that infrastructure from Thursday. But we're happy with the preparations. We're going to be having two dry runs for the start. You recall, Gwen, that we've just announced earlier this year that we're going to have a two-group start for this year. Because of the numbers that you've just outlined, we have about 22,600 qualified athletes to start, which is a historical number in terms of the down run from Pietermaritzburg to Durban. So for safety purposes and to ensure that we enhance our runner experience, we've had to then introduce this historic innovation of starting of the two start.
Does that affect the finish time in any way?
It doesn't affect the finish time, so both groups will be able to run for 12 hours. The first one will start at 5:45 in the morning, and the cutoff for that group, which is group one, will be 5:45 in the evening. And for group two, they'll start at 6 a.m. and they'll finish at the People's Park in Mqondisi 12 hours later. So it doesn't affect their start. It also doesn't affect the cutoffs along the route.
Talk to us about the top runners. Comrades Marathon has over the years attracted top runners from all over the world. What can we expect in terms of top contenders for the race?
The top contenders, the usual top contenders, especially our top 10 last year, most of them are going to be lining up. We are finalizing the list of top contenders most probably tomorrow or Monday, but I can safely say that Gerda Steyn is going to be from the ladies' side. Gerda Steyn, Cara Molinaro, Morozova, Janet Mpele, Adele are going to be part of the ladies that are going to be looking to ensure that they get the down run medal first. And then in terms of the men, we have Dede Tijana, Pete is also coming, the likes of Bomusa Mthembu, Edward Motibi, and the other contenders are also part of the lineup.
As far as
they are going to be lining up in front of.
All right. As far as the social runners, I mean, as you say, 22,000 plus expected. What would you say is the appeal that constantly year after year we see more people coming through to register and experience the ultimate human race?
I think it's a variety of factors. One is the strength of the brand. That's the first part. The second part, I attribute it to the fact that we have recovered fully from and remember that in 2019, when we were preparing for 2020, we had sold out our entries in a historical in 3 days. So what we're seeing now is the return of those days when we could sell entries within a very short space of time. And obviously, the last factor that we can attribute this this growth too is the 2027 race, which is the 100th running of the race. And I'm sure most athletes, especially South Africans, are preparing to ensure that they don't miss out on the 100th running of the race in 2027. So we will see a lot of interest in 2026 as well as we build up to 2027.
Maporoba, one thing I know that is that you don't only talk the talk, but you walk the walk. Are you lining up at the Pietermaritzburg City Hall on the 8th?
Definitely, I'm going to be lining up for my 7th. I'm going to be trying for my 7th medal this year, and I'm hoping to be part of those who are going to be getting this much coveted medal on the day.
And I understand that it's not only you, but also the chair of the Comrades Marathon, the deputy chair, as it were, will also be lining up with you.
Mark Leathers is going to be lining up with me as well. So we have full faith in the team that is going to be a part of the chairpersonship and the vice chairperson on the day. Who are going to be ensuring that all the the operations on the day are in place. But we're looking to enjoy ourselves on the route and hoping to be there. He's going to be firing the 4:26. So there's no pressure there. I'm sure he's going to run his race and pace himself nicely to ensure that he fires the 4:26 gun, and I'm going to be doing the last one at 6 o'clock p.m. in the evening.
Well, on a lighter note, Mapoloba, maybe then I can make a comeback, because if you're running your 7th, you're finally catching up with me because I've done my 7th. So maybe I'll just come back for that 100th edition. But as we wrap up, what can you say to particularly the novices, those that have never run Comrades Marathon before, that will be doing it for the first time on the 8th of June?
To the novices, they must just stick to their plans. They must just pace themselves according to their fitness level and ensure that they do not burn out in the first part of the race, because if you run too fast in the first part of the race, you might find yourself struggling in the second half. So they must just pace themselves nicely, and we're hoping that because of the fact that it will take about most probably 7 minutes, as opposed to previous years we take up to 12 minutes for the last runner to cross the line. I'm sure that it will give at least, especially those novices, a better chance of making sure that they lay their hands on that much important medal on the day, and wish them all the best. And we're hoping that the weather on the day is going to be on their side, and they're able to run their race and pace themselves such that they're able to cross the line without any problems.
Mqondisi Ngcobo, thank you so much for coming through to speak to us. Appreciate your time.